BJP President Amit Shah declared today that 250 terrorists were smoked out in the Balakot surgical strike by the Indian Air Force. Kapil Sibal, Digvijay Singh and other Congress luminaries jumped on this statement, asking the BJP to present evidence saying that when the Indian Air Force was not putting a number to the fatalities, where is the BJP getting these numbers from? Here's the story.
नरेंद्र मोदी सरकारे बरोबर 13 દિવસે એર સ્ટ્રાઇક કરી 250 થી વધારે આતંકવાદીઓનો
5 days after India struck Jaish terror training camps in Pakistan's Balakot, BJP chief Amit Shah has put a number on terrorist casualties in the Indian Air Force airstrike on Pakistan soil. This even as the Indian Air Force refuses to speak on numbers.
Air Force is not in a position to clarify that how many people were inside it. That we don't count human casualties. We count what targets have we hit or not hit.
This is not the first time that the Indian Air Force has reserved their right to issue a statement on the number of casualties.
It will be immature to say, premature, to say that what is the number of casualties we have been able to inflict on those camps?
The government itself is speaking in many voices. Though there has been no official count so far, sources in the government had first pegged the number of casualties at over 300. The opposition parties, which had maintained a studied silence, are now accusing the government of playing politics.
Mr. Ahluwalia, who is in government, said that our intention was not to kill anybody, right? Now Amit Shah says 250 people have been killed. Now who should we believe? A minister of the government or Amit Shah, who is just a president of a party?
जिस तरह का प्रमाण अमेरिका की सरकार ने उसामा बिन लादेन के बारे में पूरे विश्व को दिया, उस तरह का प्रमाण हमको भी देना चाहिए.
अभी उनकी तमाम चुनावी वायदे जो उन्होंने गद्दारी की, धोखा दिया जनता को, अब आर्मी के कंधों पकड़कर वो उसको ठीक करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं.
Punjab Minister Navjot Singh Sidhu has questioned the purpose of the strike, calling it an election gimmick. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, on the other hand, wondered if Amit Shah was doubting the Air Force, which has not given any numbers. The floodgates of opposition criticism, in fact, has opened after the first salvo was fired by the fiercest critic of the Modi government, Mamata Banerjee.
এবং মানুষ মারা যায় না, কেউ বলছে একজন মারা গেছে, তো সত্যটা কি এটা তো লোকে জানতেই পারে. আমরা এই ব্যাপারে টোটাল আমরা মনে করি আমরা ফোর্সের সাথে আছি.
The BJP meanwhile defended Amit Shah. It is accusing the opposition of insulting the armed forces.
The Congress is showing its original stripes. Today they are standing with terrorists and Pakistani aggressors and army, and they are questioning the bravery and the valor of the Indian Air Force.
BJP President Amit Shah has claimed that around 250 militants were killed in the airstrikes which were carried out in Balakot. On the other hand, the Indian Air Force has still not given out any number as far as the number of casualties of the militants are concerned. The Indian Air Force officials are saying that it is government which is in a better position to give out the number and not them. On the other hand, the war of word has erupted between the opposition and the ruling establishment, wherein the opposition is going all out and slamming BJP and its top leadership, saying that they are trying to politicize the entire airstrikes. With the journalist Ashwini Helen, Supriya Bhardwaj for India Today in Delhi.
Is India's opposition doing a great disservice to national security by constantly demanding proof of India's airstrikes? Remember, the military has spoken. When you constantly demand proof, you're also giving away how that proof is collected, giving Pakistan a sense of your operation tactics, which could impact the success or failure of the next military operation. Joining us on the first part of our discussion this evening, I want to introduce first Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia, former Director General Military Operations. He understands how operations can get jeopardized when you reveal the evidence that you've come back with, and he can explain that to the netas on this broadcast. With us also at this time, Priyanka Chaturvedi, National Spokesperson for the Congress. We've got GVL Narasimha Rao representing the Bharatiya Janata Party. Anand Ranganathan is a political analyst. I want to go across first though to Prithviraj Chavan, former Chief Minister Maharashtra, joins us on this broadcast. One of the many Congress luminaries who've come out and attacked the Prime Minister, accusing him of politicizing the airstrikes. But Mr. Chavan, you know, every single person in the armed forces believes that netas are doing a great disservice when they constantly demand proof. The military has spoken. They say the targets were hit. They want the netas now to back off. They want the netas to back off. And it's only when the netas back off that the army can get on and do its job. Do you not think the opposition is doing a great disservice when it constantly demands evidence, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan? As I try and fix that audio link with Mr. Chavan, let me go across to my other guests. Let me go across first to Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress. Priyanka, each time the opposition demands exact details about how this operation was carried about, how many fatalities were ensured on the ground, you are asking for visual evidence that the Indian Air Force came back with, that the NTRO or the Research and Analysis Wing's ground assets came back with. That then gives Pakistan a full sense of the kind of assets we have on the ground or the assets that we have in the air. Is that not jeopardizing national security? Is the opposition not doing India and India's national security great disservice? Priyanka Chaturvedi?
No, so Rahul, firstly we need to take a step back and remember right from the 14th of February onwards when the Pulwama attacks happened, the Congress party has been very categorically stating that we stand shoulder to shoulder with the government of India, and any anti-terror measures that they take, we support them wholly, solely, totally. This was the Congress party stance. What are we seeing coming from the ruling dispensation? We have a Prime Minister who's been addressing political rallies day in, day out. You have the BJP President speaking a lot of, making a lot of political statements out of it, trying to make political capital out of it. And you also have a BJP President who's pulling out some numbers of terrorists who have been killed, which is not being confirmed by the Indian Air Force, which the Congress party never asked for. These are numbers coming from the BJP President. And these are numbers that are coming through source-based information, and which Air Force again has not gone on to endorse. So the question is very clear. The question is, where is the BJP President getting this number from? And is the BJP President has some information which perhaps the Defence Minister of this nation doesn't know, the Prime Minister of the country doesn't know.
Narasimha Rao, we're in a peculiar situation where the Indian Air Force has been asked twice. Once in the Tri-Services briefing, and the second time the Indian Air Force's chief saying, we do not know how many fatalities on the ground. It's too premature to say anything. Yet, we are seeing one spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party after the other, going all the way up to your president, putting out exact numbers. Sambit Patra said 400, Amit Shah today saying 250. Where are these numbers coming from, asks the opposition. GVL.
No, Rahul, I think this opposition is certainly wanting to hand to Pakistan some kind of a narrative for reasons which they can only explain. On the day this airstrike was carried out, I would like you to read the statement that was put out by the Foreign Secretary. In that statement, it was categorically mentioned that a very large number of terrorists, jihadis and trainers have been killed in this attack. This is a part of the official statement of the Foreign Secretary. And the same day, and
correct, GVL, nobody is disputing that, but the Foreign Secretary did not say 250, the Indian Air Force Chief did not say 250, so where does the number of 250 come from?
There are reasons. No, Rahul, no, I think this is based on information. In fact, we have also had some discussions with people in the government. You have had discussions. Look at your own footage. I think there are certain things which government may not want to put out in the form of a formal statement. What can be stated as a part of a formal statement has been put out. But certain things will not be disclosed for reasons best known to them.
No, then why is the BJP president and everybody else in the BJP disclosing it?
Same opposition, same Congress.
No, once again, GVL.
Have you not questioned surgical strikes?
GVL, if this cannot be disclosed because of reasons of national security, why are spokespersons of the Bharatiya Janata Party putting out numbers? if it is so important for India's national security, you shouldn't put out any numbers.
No, it is not. No, I think you seem to be missing the point I am making. When an official statement is made by the government of India, there are certain things which they would possibly like to say. There are certain things they may not like to say. I think therefore it is not because you are giving out this information poses any kind of security threat. But there are in the realm of politicking, in the realm of international diplomacy, possibly the foreign secretary or foreign ministry felt they should not be putting out any more details than the broad statement of
and in the realm of politics, you think it's okay to put out details?
That would suffice.
And in the realm of politics, you think it's okay to put out details, GVL? In the realm of international diplomacy, we can't put out details because that hurts India's cause.
Look at your own channel.
I'm sorry, I'm quoting what your official spokespersons are saying on record, GVL.
Have you been irresponsible then? Are you saying...
I'm quoting to you what your leaders are saying, GVL.
Was Rahul Kanwar
I am quoting to you what your leaders are saying. I'm asking you, are they being irresponsible?
No,
respond to my question,
what
GVL.
You have been conveying.
You forget what we've been conveying. These are your leaders on record.
No.
They're not even quoting sources, GVL.
No.
They themselves have come on record putting out numbers.
No.
Where are these numbers coming from?
This is based on some discussions at different levels in the government. When they would want to put out what proof, the jokers tomorrow might ask Aadhaar numbers. They might ask their ration card details. I think there are any kind of, they can stoop to any level. We've seen that happen in surgical strikes. So I don't know, it's for the government to decide what to put out, when to put out.
Okay.
And if you don't want to believe 250, don't believe. We are certainly saying it based on authentic information.
Okay, let me go across to the former Director General Military Operations, General Bhatia. This is a peculiar situation. The armed forces and the foreign secretary are not giving numbers. The BJP at the highest levels is putting out numbers with a lot of certainty. What do you make of what's going on?
You know, before I make any comment, let me say, as a former soldier, like the armed forces are totally apolitical.
Absolutely.
So that is something which I would like to say. Secondly, I would also like to say that the armed forces, Indian armed forces, are competent, courageous, committed. Please trust them. That is something which is, which is impacting the man on the ground when there are different voices coming up from the political parties. He's confused. He doesn't know whom to trust, what to trust, whom not to trust, and asking for operational details, giving figures which which is always not from the official media. I think that this can be avoided. It's best avoided. What I'm trying to say is,
can you explain, as a former Director General Military Operations, how the success of our next covert operation could be impacted if we do what Priyanka Chaturvedi's party wants, putting out specific satellite imagery or laser imagery of what happened that day?
see, no nation in the world gives out operational details and its tactical methodology, the modus operandi. So that is something which is a given. Even after the surgical strike 2016, everyone was asking for details, for evidence.
You were in charge at that time?
Yes, no, I was not, but I spoke for it, that we should not go out. The moment you give out your tactical and operational details, you are making the next strike suspect so much more difficult for the men. They have to risk, the risks go higher. The stakes are lower and the chances of probability of success is much lower thereafter.
You've just heard Priyanka Chaturvedi from a very respected former Director General of Military Operations. He's the one who, when a covert operation is going on, would be directing the boys on the ground, telling them how to plan their ingress, how to plan their exit. What he says has to be taken very seriously. When the opposition makes an irresponsible demand saying, show us satellite images, show us laser photographs, you are jeopardizing the potential of success of our next surgical strike. That is suicidal for the Indian armed forces, and what you're doing therefore needs to stop, Priyanka.
Firstly, there's nobody asking for any evidence with regards to satellite imagery, etc. It has not come from the Congress party headquarters. Firstly, let me be very clear about this. We have total faith in our Indian armed forces and our Air Force. And that is something that even the Congress president has endorsed, that we have total faith in them. We have done that in 1971, 65, 47. We can do it all over again if any national security threat is perceived by the Indian military forces. Now, second question is not about that. The question is very clearly, the DGM DCM was
one second. Priyanka, you're saying that nobody in the Congress has demanded evidence. Let me quote to you what Digvijay Singh says. India should give evidence of the airstrike. He says the government should provide evidence of the airstrikes in Balakot in Pakistan, just the way the United States had done after killing Osama bin Laden in Pakistan's Abbottabad in 2011. At that time too, America never gave any evidence of Abbottabad. Don't forget that.
To you. I was speaking. Rahul, can I just repeat once again to you that the Congress party, the Congress president, have totally endorsed all actions taken militarily by the Air Force to teach Pakistan a lesson they well deserve. We have also gone on to appreciate that without harming any civilians, we have done
I'm asking you about Digvijay Singh's comment. Do you endorse it? Do you condemn it? Priyanka Chaturvedi, it's a straight comment. Digvijay Singh is one of your senior most leaders. He is asking for evidence of the airstrike.
And the question is very clear, that you have a BJP spokesperson.
You are dodging my question. Priyanka Chaturvedi, you are dodging my question. I asked you a straight and simple question. And since you are pretending not to understand it, I will repeat it for you. He says satellites are capable of capturing everything. The government should give evidence. Priyanka, respond to my question.
Listen. Rahul, I will respond very clearly. The Congress party is now asking a very simple question. Where is Amit Shah getting his numbers from?
I've asked GDL the question about Amit Shah, so don't dodge my question. I'm asking you a straight question. Priyanka Chaturvedi, do you endorse or condemn the comment made by Digvijay Singh? Answer my question.
What we need to understand is,
Priyanka Chaturvedi, you will answer my question.
National Secrets Act, where the Defence Minister, Air Force Chief refused to give out numbers.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, you will answer my question.
I'm very clear about this. It hasn't come from 24 Akbar Road, and this is what we have categorically said.
Does Digvijay Singh exist in the Congress party or not?
What question do you want answered, Mr.
Digvijay Singh one of your senior leaders or not?
Of the government of India today,
is Digvijay Singh one of your senior leaders or not?
The political party is trying to seek political mileage out of something,
and yet we do not have answers as to why are they violating the National Secrets Act. Why is the president quoting some numbers in clear violation of what the norms are, what secrecy is about? I'm sorry. You're not answering my question.
These are questions which need to be answered by the government of the day.
Priyanka, I want to quote to you. You can't be heard right now because you're just speaking without answering my question. Priyanka, don't waste your energy. You can't be heard. Navjot Singh Sidhu says 300 terrorists dead. Yes or no? What was the purpose then? Were you uprooting terrorists or trees? Was this an election gimmick? Deceit possesses our land in the name of fighting a foreign enemy. What is this? Who is Navjot Singh Sidhu? Why is he saying this? Why is Rahul Gandhi not talking to them?
Mr. Piyush Goyal.
Priyanka, I'm quoting to you what Navjot Singh Sidhu is saying. 300 dead terrorists. Yes or no? What was the purpose? Were you uprooting trees or terrorists?
So thank you so much, Mr. Kanwal. Mr. Kanwal, it would be nice, Mr. Kanwal, Mr. Kanwal, it would be really nice if you allow me to talk and do not continue questioning me parallelly, because you missed the question and I missed the question, you missed the answer that I have to give. Very clearly, this is clearly happening. Allow me to answer 30 seconds, give me without interrupting. I'll probably be able to answer your questions. But I didn't get your question simply because you didn't listen to what my response was. If you can repeat your question, I'll be happy to answer it.
My question is, Navjot Singh Sidhu says 300 terrorists are dead. Yes or no? Was it what was the purpose? Were you uprooting terrorists or trees? Was it an election gimmick? Deceit possesses our land in the guise of fighting an enemy, foreign enemy. Who are these people? These are your senior leaders talking this kind of language. You've just heard from a Director General Military Operations saying this jeopardizes the possibility of success of our next operation. I'm saying the opposition is guilty of hurting India's national interest.
I'm sorry. If anyone has hurt the national interest, it is the government of the day. I'm sorry, Rahul. You've just had a very bad experience yesterday when you asked some tough questions of Mr. Piyush Goyal and he termed you an anti-national.
I don't care about anybody terming me an anti-national. I'm as concerned about absurdities coming from the opposition as I am about absurdities coming from the government. You're not answering my question, Priyanka Chaturvedi. You're trying to dodge my question.
Isn't the government of India? I am answering your question very clearly. Very clearly, the Congress president is the senior most leader of our party, and the Congress president has categorically endorsed any stand that is taken militarily to teach Pakistan a lesson. We have our spokespersons who are categorically saying that to you. We endorse whatever the Air Force is doing. What we do not endorse are the political commentary coming from the government of India, and they have a lot to answer. How is it that the BJP president seems to have some numbers which the country doesn't seem to know?
Okay, GVL
Why is it
Narasimha
that the
Rao,
BJP president
Priyanka
is doing some
Chaturvedi's
numbers in every
defense is,
political rally,
look at what
which
the
all
Congress
party
president is
leaders
saying,
know?
disregard
This
Navjot Singh
is
Sidhu,
clear
disregard
violation
Digvijay
of
Singh,
National
they
Secret
don't
Act.
speak for the Congress. She's asking again where your BJP president is getting the 250 number from. Respond to her.
Right.
First, stop laughing, GVL. This is national security. I don't appreciate these guffaws.
I have answered that right at the
Keep
beginning.
it serious, GVL.
Now, Kapil Sibal, I have told you where I got this number from. I have told this to you, and you want me to waste your time repeating it again? This is based on credible sources in government.
Post-Pulwama.
This is based on credible sources in government. And now Kapil Sibal, throw him out
so
of
why
Congress.
is it that the credible
Throw
sources
Navjot
are
Singh
not
Sidhu out of
keeping the
Congress.
opposition in the loop?
Throw Manish
And
Tiwari
you are
out of
using it in
Congress.
political
Are they
rallies.
not congressmen? I am telling you,
this
the
is an important
information
question that
that
you
we
need
have
to
been
answer.
speaking is based on credible information. Now, if this is Rahul Gandhi wanting to sound music to Pakistan? No, clearly that's a direct allegation. Is Rahul Gandhi crying today that Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists got killed? The manner in which Sonia Gandhi cried in Batla House encounter. Is Rahul crying?
What rubbish is he talking?
No, but Rahul
is he
hasn't
really
cried,
a Rajya Sabha MP? Is
Rahul
he really a
hasn't
Rajya Sabha
cried.
MP?
No,
what
but
nonsense
this
are you
is the
talking?
rubbish that you spoke in the
What
past.
nonsense are you talking?
You cried when
You don't even
Jaish-e-Mohammed.
deserve that Rajya Sabha
You
seat
cried
with
when
statements
terrorists were
like this.
killed. But are you now crying that
Is this a
Jaish-e-Mohammed
representative of the
is
upper
getting
house,
killed?
which is supposed to have
No,
some
Jaish-e-
intellectual
you have
capacity,
Pakistan
intellectual
admitting
strength,
the strike was
which
carried
adds
out.
to the nation's
You have
policy-making
Jaish-e-Mohammed.
space?
You have
Is this what
Jaish-e-Mohammed
the country
accepting.
deserves?
You have
spokesperson
brother
who
of
doesn't know what
Masood
he's
Azhar
speaking?
saying massive casualties occurred.
Boss,
And who do you want
Mr.
to listen
Kaval,
to them?
Mr. Kaval.
No, but you throw out Kapil Sibal.
Mr. Kaval, can I?
No, one second. I want to
Mr.
go
Kaval.
across
No,
to
but
Anand
is Rahul Gandhi
Ranganathan
crying?
because we are seeing an
Is he
absurd
crying
situation
that Jaish-e-Mohammed
where
got-
from Kapil
got
Sibal,
killed?
it's not just Digvijay Singh, it's not just Sidhu Anand. Look at Kapil Sibal. Look at Manish Tiwari. They're all making the same point. Kapil Sibal says, international media is saying there's no proof of losses at Balakot. He says, PM must speak on reports by the international media. They say hardly anyone died there. Now the point is, the military has spoken. They say we inflicted damages. Let the matter lie there. What are you making, Anand Ranganathan, of what we're seeing from the opposition?
Yeah, thanks very much, Rahul, for having me. And I'm the last person you've come to please give me a minute at least. I've heard all the other panelists. Let me be very clear. Anyone in a war-like scenario, and it has been for the last week, in a war-like scenario, anyone who doubts the success of an Indian armed forces operation is working against India's interests. Let me be as clear as that. And the fact of the matter is that our armed forces don't really deserve, or our politicians don't deserve the armed forces they have. Now, I want to make 3 or 4 very quick points. The first one is, do we realize that it is not the number of terrorists who have been killed, and as the military officers and Mr. Bhatia himself said, that yes, he is not going to give you the exact number, but people have been killed. But the point is, according to me, even if only one or none of these terrorists were killed, would I still rate the operation as success? Yes, on 2 counts. One, it is for the first time in decades that India has actually bombed proper Pakistan territory, that is a terror hideout. And number 2, we have completely called out Pakistan's nuclear bluff. So this is a game changer. And to fight and bicker over how many killed, 250, 300, 600, and to, talk about the foreign press. Incidentally, talking about the foreign journalists, there has been a report from Francesca in First Post that has said dozens of terrorists, eyewitness accounts, dozens of terrorists have been killed. Now, you have an airstrike, which is a successful airstrike at 3 o'clock in the morning their time, and you are going to tell me that none of the terrorists, and that's a major terror hideout, have been killed? Now, this is the problem that we face. I'll take 30 seconds more. You see, you have Kuldeep Jadhav. His life hangs in a balance because of some stupidities conducted by a few Indians here who've labeled him as a spy or not. Now, this is the problem. There is time for taking stock of a situation, but in a war-like scenario, when lives are at stake, you don't do this sort of thing. You don't play politics. You don't go
Chatterjee,
and
look at what Mamata Banerjee has said. Mamata Banerjee, like the Congress, is demanding evidence. She says, we have the right to know how many people were killed in the airstrikes launched by India. Is it 300 or 350? I read in the international media that bombs landed somewhere else. How many actually perished? Did anyone die at all?
But have some doubts on questions being asked. Of course.
Garga Chatterjee, the opposition seems to be doing the Indian military and national security great disservice by asking for specific evidence.
So let me answer your point, and please don't interrupt. Two things in the life of a nation, okay, and the life of a nation which has Satyameva Jayate, truth always prevails, as its motto. Two things are not negotiable. One is truth, and the second thing is national security. A government cannot lie using the fig leaf of our great army. So the Indian Air Force has clearly said we can't count. Manoj Tiwari, BJP MP, he has said he knew from earlier operational details of when the strike is going to happen. Even again, please don't come into between. West Bengal ABVP level leaders have said that it's a huge national security breach. SS Ahluwalia, Central Minister of BJP, has said no people have died. He has said this. Amit Shah, BJP's president, has said 250 people have died. Okay, the country wants to know the truth. It is very simple. And all through this day, WhatsApp, Facebook, BJP's IT cell infrastructure has completely unleashed, using the good name of the army and the air force, untruths on the people to politicize the issue. Our ex-chiefs of army have said that surgical strikes across the LOC, across India's borders, are a routine affair. Have happened before, has happened after, will happen afterwards also. Anand Patwardhan does not know this. They says that this has happened for the first time, because for the first time you see a hoopla around this. And also the army chiefs have said this is not a PR event. This is a military event. This is not a political event. This is a military event. You have seen, so basically these numbers being put out by BJP are as fake as Narendra Modi's degree itself. Where is the talk about jobs 2 months before the election?
Okay. I just want to show our viewers a comparison between what is officially being said by the military twice over. Contrast that with what's being said by BJP leaders. They are putting out specific numbers. When the military is asked, they say it's too early, it's premature to give a specific number on how many people were killed. Our job is to bomb the targets. The Air Force chief said today we are confident we executed that. How many people died who were on the ground, that depends on how many terrorists there were. When he was asked how many terrorists were killed, he said, I, at this moment, do not know. Take a look.
We don't count human casualties. We count what targets have we hit or not hit.
Time's up in there, please.
The bomb damage assessment that is done post a mission calculates the number of the target you've been hit or you've not been able to hit.
ઉરીની અંદર ઘટના થઈ, થલ સેનાએ પાકિસ્તાનના ઘરમાં ઘૂસી સર્જિકલ સ્ટ્રાઇક કરી આપણા જવાનોના મૃત્યુ કર્યા. અને પુલવામાની અંદર ઘટના થઈ. પુલવામાની અંદર ઘટના થતાની સાથે જ બધાને એવું હતું કે આ વખતે તો સર્જિકલ સ્ટ્રાઇક ના થઈ શકે. હવે શું થશે? ત્યાં એલર્ટનેસ બહુ હતી. પરંતુ મિત્રો, નરેન્દ્ર મોદી સરકારે બરોબર 13માના દિવસે એર સ્ટ્રાઇક કરી 250 થી વધારે આતંકવાદીઓનો શોધ. ઉરીની અંદર ઘટના થઈ, થલ સેનાએ પાકિસ્તાનના ઘરમાં ઘૂસી સર્જિકલ સ્ટ્રાઇક કરી આપણા જવાનોના મૃત્યુ કર્યા. અને પુલવામાની અંદર ઘટના થઈ. પુલવામાની અંદર ઘટના થતાની સાથે જ બધાને એવું હતું કે આ વખતે તો સર્જિકલ સ્ટ્રાઇક ના થઈ શકે. હવે શું થશે? ત્યાં એલર્ટનેસ બહુ હતી. પરંતુ મિત્રો, નરેન્દ્ર મોદી સરકારે બરોબર 13માના દિવસે એર સ્ટ્રાઇક કરી 250 થી વધારે આતંકવાદીઓનો શોધ. એક પણ કેઝ્યુઅલિટી વગર.
মোদিজি ওই ঘটনা হওয়ার পর চুরুতে ভাষণ দিয়েছেন। উনি কি বলেছেন যে কি 300 লোক মারা গেছে? কোনো ভারতীয় জনতা পার্টির স্পোক্স পারসন কি বলেছে? অমিত শাহ কোনো জায়গায় বলেছে?
You know, what needs to be remembered by the opposition, Priyanka Chaturvedi, is that when the US Navy SEALs went in and took down Osama bin Laden, They didn't even put out a death certificate. You know, his son kept asking the government in the United States for a death certificate. They didn't do that. They gave no evidence. Is that not correct, General Bhatia? No evidence was given. They did the job that was needed to be done.
Officially, no evidence was given. Nothing has ever come out of how it was done, where it was done, when it was done, except that the strikes carried on a particular day. The how of it never came out actually. These are all conjectures or some narrative.
They never said how many other people were there. Correct. Who else died in that operation was never revealed officially.
How was it tracked out there? You know, there are conjecturing out there, but no official statement has ever come out.
Priyanka
and out here we are looking at, you know, evidence all the time, looking at proofs all the time. I really do not know why. Why, you know, the world applauds us for doing what we have done. And they analyze a fantastically, very well carried out military operation. And here we are doubting ourselves.
You are making, Priyanka Chaturvedi, a mess of the whole operation, jeopardizing future prospects by constantly asking for evidence.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, now Rahul, you'll have to give me my 30 seconds before I respond to your question. I'll definitely respond to your question. Firstly, the BJP MP and spokesperson made some comments about my Congress president, and I take strong objection to that. And if we are going down to rhetoric and we're going to come up with whole sort of nonsense, then might as well I remind him that it was the National Security Advisor who actually took Maulana Masood Azhar from the Indian jails and took him back home in Pakistan, and since then we've been facing terror attacks from Jaish-e-Mohammed. The second thing I would want to remind him, it is our Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi who without an invite had reached out to Pakistan. It is our Prime Minister Mr. Modi who invited ISI to Pathankot, and it is our Prime Minister Mr. Modi who sent Ved Prakash Vaidik to hug Hafiz Saeed. But I don't want to get in there. The second thing, I was very touched by Anand Ranganathan talking about, you know, anti-national acts. I would also hope that he talks about how political capital is being made by the Bharatiya Janata Party through full-page ads in newspapers in Maharashtra, through political hoardings, through political messaging, through their political rallies, using the martyrdom of our Jawans to try and seek political capital of it. I'm sure he will raise an objection to that as well when he raises objections to questions being asked. Now, thirdly, to your question, I would want
Priyanka,
to ask
if I
you,
can come in
when
there,
America carried out strikes like this, wasn't it a fact that all the parties, the Democrats and Republicans together, please allow me to complete, Democrats and Republicans had got on together, they knew what was happening, and everyone was kept updated. The people who are political stakeholders were kept posted. Isn't that a fact? Now, here we have a situation where, you know, intelligence agencies are feeding some information to Bharatiya Janata Party. There's no all-party meeting that has been convened.
In the United States, an all-party meeting would be convened. The security agencies would brief. One second, Anand. The security agencies would brief leaders of the opposition, and that's how everyone is on board. GVL Narasimha Rao, respond to that.
I don't have a question for you. I just
I completely rubbish that claim. I think you don't, when the whole operation was being monitored in the White House, are you telling me they had members of the Republican Party sitting in that conference room? It's rubbish.
No, later they were briefed.
It was an operation mounted by the US Navy SEALs, and it was monitored by the government. The president, here also they were briefed. I think what more, you see, here the problem is, last time at least Pakistan was saying there were no strikes. This time Rahul Gandhi has decided that the strikes have to be somehow, we have to say that the strikes didn't happen.
No, but why are there so many posters across the country being put up? GVL, one second. GVL, why are there posters at this time put up by local affiliates of the Bharatiya Janata Party?
Yes, why not?
One second, saying that the Prime Minister has gone and done a big deal. Why are you trying to take political capital out of it? If it's a job that the army did, the Air Force did, why are you trying to now benefit politically from this?
Yeah. No, Rahul, give me 30 seconds. I think it's a good question. Certainly, the full credit for the operation goes to the army. Here goes to the IAF. But they were always capable. They wanted to mount a similar attack in 2008. After 26/11, you have Air Chief Marshal retired Mr. Fali Homi, who rather told you only a few days ago that he wanted to carry out a similar strike, and Dr. Manmohan Singh government did not give the clearance. But certainly without the government's clearance, without government support, without the diplomatic support that this country has got from the entire world, we could not have achieved this mission. So the operational part is certainly to the full credit to our military.
Garga Chatterjee, respond to this. This is a fact. The Air Force strike option was available in the past as well. What is different this time is that they had the political will and the mandate to go out and carry out those strikes. And therefore, to that extent, the Prime Minister and his party deserve credit for having shown the kind of muscular approach on terrorism that previous governments in the country have failed to do so.
I will make 2 points to 2 aspects of what the BJP spokesperson said. For any approach to terrorism, the idea is to decrease terrorism. The amount of terrorism that has increased during BJP rule is unprecedented since 1989. First of all, let's understand that. The number of our men that have been killed by terrorists is unprecedented again under BJP rule. Okay. Having said that, number 2, he is talking about some kind of international whatever. It is shameful for India to have gone to OIC where Pakistan did not attend and to again have a statement that OIC gave saying that India was an aggressor in Kashmir.
You wanted to go to Pakistan.
India said that number 1. Number 2, today since Shimla agreement of Indira Gandhi and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Kashmir issue has always been a bilateral. It was one of the great achievements of Indian diplomacy. Today, Saudi officials and Donald Trump claim that they solved this problem.
No. Garga Chatterjee, on the OIC, I think you got it terribly wrong. Anand Ranganathan will come in as well. The fact is, here is an organization where Pakistan was isolated to the extent that their foreign minister boycotted because the Indian foreign minister came as a guest of honor. This is in fact one of our big achievements when it comes to diplomacy, where the Indian government has been able to isolate Pakistan in the Islamic bloc. Anand Ranganathan, and therefore to make it seem as if this is some kind of failure. Statements against us they have put out in the past as well, Garga. The Pakistani foreign minister had to boycott. Anand Ranganathan wants to come in. Anand.
And that's not part of the main declaration.
Yeah, Rahul, is just my...
That's not the main declaration.
Mr. Rao, please, now you had your say. Mr. Rao, please, you've had your say. Can I have my 10 seconds now? Now, Rahul, I disagree a little bit. I don't think it may not be a failure, but I personal opinion is that our joining the IOC is not really an achievement. I think it's like a group that I don't personally like. It's based on religion, so I think I personally have my objection to that. But having come to this whole issue, and that you took a very pertinent example of Osama bin Laden. Now, as you were saying, for weeks on end, the US did not provide any proof whatsoever. They just buried him on sea. That's all. It was only, I think, months after, when videos emerged of Osama bin Laden watching some videos on television, that we got to know that yes, indeed, the US had actually killed Osama bin Laden. And now to distrust, to mistrust, and let's not forget the first surgical strike. Now, Rahul Gandhi may have supported the first surgical strike, but as is the procedure in this one as well, he sends his minions to doubt it. So in that case, it was Sanjay Nirupam who said, "Arey strike hui hai ki nahi hui, pehle ye pata chalna chahiye." Then you had Arvind Kejriwal doubting the strike. So you always have the sanctum sanctorum being absolutely prim and proper, and you have these 5 or 6 blokes around him saying that, oh, we are not very sure, and we are not very sure whether there were any casualties.
Respond to it. I think that's an important point. That even from the likes of Digvijay Singh, Manish Tiwari, Navjot Singh Sidhu, Kapil Sibal, Ajay Singh, these are all Congress leaders. So Rahul Gandhi being proper, Anand Ranganathan uses the phrase minions on his behalf, coming out and saying exactly the opposite. Therefore, you can't say, oh, it didn't come from 24 Akbar Road. Arey boss, ye bhi to aap hi ke party ke leaders hain. Priyanka Chaturvedi.
So, अरे तो जवाब तो देने दो ना अरे जवाब भी देने दो ना. It's very interesting that Mr. Anand Ranganathan chose to skip the question that was asked of him about how he chooses to slam the Bharatiya Janata Party for politicizing it. But that's his perhaps equation with the BJP. I'm not getting into that space. The second question is, he speaks about the Osama bin Laden.
But I am not.
Osama bin Laden attack. Do not interrupt me. I wasn't interrupting you. I wasn't interrupting you, Mr. Ranganathan. Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete. complete.
second, you asked
So
me a
as
question,
far
so I'm
as Osama
replying
bin
it.
Laden
Priyanka,
operation is
have the
concerned,
decency,
if I'm not mistaken,
decency to listen
if I'm
to the
not
answer.
mistaken, Mr.
Okay, one
Kanwal,
second. Anand's
Mr. Kanwal,
failure
if
goes
I'm
down.
not
Let Priyanka
mistaken,
complete.
Mr. Kanwal, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kanwal, if I'm not mistaken, the Osama bin Laden operation was a targeted operation, and after the target was achieved, the US felt no hesitation in announcing it to the world that Osama bin Laden was dead. This was an official statement coming from the US government and the US as a nation. India has targeted, yes, we all know. India has hit out at the terror camps, yes, we all know. We want to understand from the government of India, and why should we not declare it with a sense of pride that these are the people we have killed, these are the numbers that are out there, this is the terror
No,
camp
but
we have
Priyanka
hit out.
Chaturvedi, you
That
must
is all I'm
understand a
saying. Do
little
not
bit about how these
compare apples
operations
to
happen.
oranges.
It
However,
just shows,
when the
and General
Bharatiya
Bhatia can
Janata
build on this. One second,
is selective in sending out source-based information,
Priyanka,
then
your
it becomes
assertion shows
imperative
how
that there
clueless
is
you
some
are
clarity
about
with
how
regards
these
to the
operations
target
are mounted.
achieved
Let me give our viewers
that
a
we
bit
have
of a
set out to
sense,
do
because
has
Priyanka
achieved.
Chaturvedi clearly doesn't know what she's talking about. The Air Force's job is to drop the bombs on the intended target. Then you can have satellite images, you can have cameras that take pictures, and that day we were told was a very cloudy day and therefore they didn't get clear snapshots. We also spoke of assets on the ground who were eyes and ears on the ground talking about what damages there were. It's not the Air Force's job, General Bhatia, to head count. That's the research and analysis job. They have done their job as well, but the moment they tell you what happened, the moment they tell you how they got these numbers, then they'll start looking out for who our raw asset was in Pakistan, General Bhatia, and that's very dangerous.
Army which came and made this official statement.
Let me assure you that numbers are not important actually.
Let the General speak. Priyanka, let the General speak, please. Listen to him.
The numbers are not important. The details are not important in this. What is more important is that you have struck the mother of all terrorist camps of Jaish located in Pakistan, and you have stuck it out there and stuck it very, very well. You know, these are smart munitions. They do not miss the target. The target was given, and these munitions will strike the target with a, you know, the central error probability is something in a couple of meters.
3 meters.
Let me just put it at a couple of meters. So you have destroyed the target. The given task is achieved very well. All our sets have done the task and got back safe. So we should be celebrating this rather than doubting this.
Do you also think it is wrong on the part of the members of the ruling government to give out numbers 250, 300, 350? Do you think that's wrong as well?
No one knows the numbers actually. It's very difficult to give the numbers, and numbers are not important, like I said. What is more important is that you have caused the desired effect, desired impact, and that signal has gone to the Pakistan nation and the Pakistan armed forces and Pakistan army in particular, which was tasked to protect and defend this camp after the surgical strikes carried in 2016. So that is what is more important.
I think that is the key. You know, the netas, all of them must listen to
Rahul,
the
can I
general
add to
speak.
what Mr. Bhatia
The
said?
key
Just 10
is
seconds.
we have breached a frontier.
Yes.
We have used the Indian
Yes.
Air Force. We have penetrated Pakistani airspace. We have struck in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We've gone beyond Pakistan occupied Kashmir. We have sent the sternest message possible to the Pakistani generals in Rawalpindi that we will take down terror infrastructure if we are attacked, if we are provoked. That is crucial. Now, whether in this operation 25 died, 250 died, that is not consequential. The fact is there were fatalities, the Air Force has said it. Now you can keep making up numbers. You know, by the time this election gets over, it will be seen from some BJP spokesperson that they went and planted a bomb under Imran Khan's bed. That is doing the military a great disservice, and the opposition also needs to stop constantly asking for evidence. It jeopardizes the ability of the armed forces to carry out the next successful surgical strike. I realize in election season there is the tendency and the requirement to constantly say, oh, 25 nahi mare, 30 nahi mare, 100 nahi mare, 250 mare, 300 mare. It will keep going on. But you run the risk of confusing people. You run the risk of
Rahul,
letting the terrorists know, letting the backers in the ISI and the army know about your tactics. If images are put out, if specifics are given about how this operation was carried, this is bad news. The opposition is to blame, and the government needs to back off as well. If you want to put out a number, do it officially. You claim 250, 300, 350 without giving evidence. That is not good enough. Both the BJP and the Congress and everybody else in opposition needs to stop putting out this number when the armed forces are not giving a specific number. On that note, I want to thank General Bhatia for being the voice of wisdom, the voice of sagacity, and that's the message that's going to all our netas Whether it's the BJP or the Congress, they need to listen. Anything else is politicizing this particular attack and politicizing what was a very successful surgical strike. That's what the Air Force needs to be commended on, not constantly saying, kitne aadmi the ye batao. You know, that dialogue is good in the film Sholay. That dialogue makes no sense when you're talking about serious matters of national security. I want to thank our guests. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stay with us.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.